While ago, I have made this cooling pad for my gaming laptop. It features 3 fans, 2 blow air upwards and 1 blows downwards. This way, the airflow maintains under the laptop chassis. Although this cooling pad does not help me a lot, these small ventilations are kind of joke for the heat that this laptop produces. As laptops are so compact by design, it heats up so quickly during the heavy processing intensive tasks. As a result, CPU and maybe the GPU frequency gets lower and lower and sometimes beneath their base frequency to reduce the heat. If something happens like this in the gaming session, we get huge FPS drop in the games. This problem is called thermal throttling, and it is not ignorable that the environment temperature also affects the whole system. By the way, the laptop what I am using has Intel Core i7-7700HQ CPU, which base and boost clock are 2.8 and 3.8 GHz respectively, and GTX 1060 Max-Q graphics card which has a base and boost frequency are respectively 1063 and 1480 MHz. Anyway, for the better cooling, we need bigger ventilation and direct airflow to these heat pipes, and obviously it is not recommended to sacrificing the back cover. So this is the plan. A simple board that fits in the place of back cover. The board consists of 4 circular cutouts. These 2 are for the laptop fans. This throws the cool air to the heat pipes if I use the laptop on a cooling pad, and this last one is just for more ventilation. Finally, to protect all of these holes, we have to use some sort of mesh, and later to fit hole contraption using some screws and hinges are obviously necessary. After putting the theory and conceptual drawings out of the way, let's start with the actual build. So I took a 0.5mm thick MDF board and started to take out a required piece for this project. For that, I have used the laptop's original back cover as a reference. After tracing its dimension, I have used my square ruler to verify it. Then I have used my circular saw to cut off the extras. Cutting with the circular saw is little bit tricky here. First, I have adjusted the cutting depth in the saw, which was pretty shallow at the first chance. The blade here barely touches the material. To get accuracy in the saw movement, I have used my ruler as a reference and fixed the ruler with some heavy weights from both sides. This way the ruler does not move and helps me to maintain the saw in a straight line. After getting our required piece, I have placed the MDF in the back cover's cavity. Perfect. For better finishing, I have trimmed down the edges with a bit of file treatment, and as a reference, I have once again used the original back cover of the laptop. After completing the basic structure, we need to construct the laptop's fan intakes and other ventilation cutouts. For that, I measured the actual size of the original back cover and got these results. To keep these values in mind and by tweaking some of the values here and there, the values look like this. By following that measurements, I have marked both sides and joined them using my square ruler. This way a straight line occurs, and with this same technique, I have drawn the other lines on both sides. When it was done, I have marked at a distance of 8.1 cm. And using my square ruler, I have completed the first set of straight lines. Next, by verifying the distance between them, I have found the center position, which is at 4.05 cm. This madness is done by 2 times. Again, to join them, the square ruler comes very handy. Next, I have marked 4 cm away from the side reference, completed the lines, and drilled a pilot hole with a 6mm drill bit. Then by using that pilot hole, I made a circular hole with my 3-inch hole saw. After completing this process on the other side, I have completed all the fan intake cutouts on the MDF. That's not all. Here are the 2 heat pipes which carries the heat of the CPU and GPU to the heatsink. If we cool them down, then transferring heat to the heatsink can be minimized. So without further ado, I made a circular hole on the MDF by following the heat pipe's position. To improve the airflow a bit, I made another hole in the bottom. For these cards, first I have measured the size of the board, found its center, and using my square ruler, I made a straight line by following the center mark. Next, I have stretched the line to the bottom of the board. Then I have found the center of the stretched line, which is around 6.2 cm, and marked it. By following that marks, I have drawn a straight line to guide the drill bit. Then I made pilot holes to run the hole saw through the MDF. As I said before, if we left this contraption like this, it could be very dangerous for the laptop. So I found this metal mesh on my racks. Before you bother me with the quality, I want to say it was bought decades ago. As you know, we need a very small piece for this project, so buying a large piece is a waste of money. Anyway, through the gaps of the mesh, air can easily flow, but dust and other stuff are kind of resisted. To set this mesh, I flipped the MDF, left 1.2 cm and 12.5 cm from the top and bottom, and drew straight lines on both sides by following that guidance. Then I have maintained a centimeter distance from the edges, marked them and completed the rectangle. Then for the bottom one, I followed almost the same way, but this time the only difference is the 1 cm gap is counted from the circular cutout, not from the edges. It seems stupid though, but to avoid mistakes, I have marked all the positions where I have to make the grooves for the mesh. Next, I have taken my circular saw, adjust its cutting depth and ran the saw by following the outlines. Then I ran the saw randomly inside the outlines, and to finish this up, I have used Grid 80 sandpaper to smooth the surface down. It is funny though, because of my excitement, I have forgotten to run the saw through the left and right outlines. So I have done it later and sand down the sides. Then I have marked on the metal mesh and snipped off the extras with my rotary tool. For the last cut, first I moved my circular saw through the outlines, then diagonally, then using my chisel I took out the layers and sand down the extras. Lastly, for this opening I have snipped off another piece of mesh using my rotary tool. Done. Now as obvious, both the meshes are perfectly fitted on their places, but it looks a bit misaligned because over the years it is bent a bit. Although this problem will be solved later when I glued them with the MDF. Anyway, to fit this whole contraption, I made a hinge on the bottom and a screw on the top. Actually, this design is obviously taken from the original one. Though there are many hinges on that design, but to keep this project simple, I made only this bottom hinge. Honestly, at the beginning I have tried to make 2 hinges on 2 sides, but I have failed instantly because of my wrong measurements. Next, to fit the hinges on the MDF, I placed the original cover on the board and take some estimated measurements of these hinges. And this was my first mistake in this project. My estimated measurements were actually wrong, and all the drilling, cutting and lots of other things with the MDF was totally wasted. So as a reward, I got these 3 beautiful looking cutouts which have actually no use. So I gave up and stick with 1 hinge, which was almost in the middle of this line. Then I have drilled a hole and used a 17 SWG copper wire to make the hinge. I am not mentioning the size here because every laptop has different type and different size of hinge. So better to find it yourself for your convenience. Then I have bent the wire 90 degrees, cut grooves besides the drill and hammered the hinge through the holes and slightly bend it again. During the bending process, I have used a piece of plywood as a support to protect the MDF. Anyway, it's time for testing. Thankfully, this time the back cover set into its cavity without any problem. To take this project to an end, I took out the MDF from the laptop, get the hinge out and started to fill all the unnecessary grooves which was done previously because of my stupidity. To fill them, I have used a bit of MDF dust and wood glue and some water. After mixing them, I have covered all the unnecessary cuts with this mixture and applying a lots of pressure to put it inside the cavities. When it was dry, I have sanded with Grid 80 sandpaper and smoothed it down. Looks new, right? Next, for the screw mount, I took the original lead, marked its screw with this marking pencil, aligned the original lead on the MDF and rotate this screw to trace the screw mark on it. Don't get me wrong, taking out the screw from its place is a pretty hard job to do and may destroy the screw and its locking mechanism. To fit the screw in place, first I have used 1.5 mm drill bit, then countersink to make a proper hole and finally a 6 mm drill bit to create the groove for the bolt. After putting the bolt inside, I put the screw through the hole which moves freely inside it, and the screw head should not pass through it. Here I am not mentioning the size of the screw and the bolt because every laptop uses different screw, so you have to find yourself what is suitable for you. Okay, moving on. Let's check the design is working or not. Thankfully, it's working. The back cover set properly inside its cavity, and also because of this screw and hinge, it will never fall out. Okay, for the finishing touch, let's disassemble all the accessories and use 2-component adhesive to fix all of them in place. So let's start with the metal mesh. After applying the glue, I have placed the mesh and put some heavy weights on it. After a day, the results are not pretty impressive to look at. So I have used some hot glue to set the fixture with this MDF. Then by following the same procedure, I have placed the small one too. After around 48 hours later, I have flipped the board, put the glue inside the cavities and placed all the accessories in it. It is important to say that after gluing the hinge, I used the excess glue to cover up the groove and let it dry for 24 hours. Next, I used Grid 80 sandpaper and sand down the surface. After sanding the board, I have cleaned it with a clean cloth. Now we need to use some wood primer on it, but I don't have any. So I have painted it and let it dry for 5 hours. Then I have applied another coat on it and keep it dry. After 24 hours has passed, I got this result. Finishing is not so perfect though, but I think it should do its job fine later. So to test it, I have set this contraption with my laptop and started to playing some games. In thermals, we can't see any difference in it, but the thermal throttling issue is solved. CPU and GPU both works above their base frequency, no underclocking and nothing, so it's kind of success. To protect the MDF and its color to wear out, I have used some buffers with some double-sided tapes. Therefore, if you ask me making up such a complicated thing is worth it or not, then I can say yes. With a good cooling pad such as my DIY one, this back cover works really well. I can play any AAA games without any lags due to thermals. Also, I can edit videos and stuff without worrying about overheating. So you can definitely make something like this. If you are planning to do so, then check my website geekysomo.com. Link is in the video description. Hope you guys enjoyed by watching this video. If so, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and also tap on the notification bell for future updates. Thank you so much.